All right, good evening, everyone. Would like to welcome and call this meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission to order. So grateful to be here with everyone. Good to see everyone, and especially on this special occasion, on this wonderful evening. So we'll proceed on to follow the agenda with our short meeting this evening with the approval of the July 10th minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I don't believe there's any members of the public here for public comment, so we'll proceed to the report from Julie.
All right, so first of all, thanks again to everyone for coming out here for this location meeting tonight, and I hope you'll join us right after this to do the ribbon cutting and walk back or ride your bike back to see what's going on with this trail. It is so awesome, and so we're excited to see that. Just a couple updates. It's nice that we're out here. You can see a few people using the old skate park. Tomorrow I go to Des Moines to defend the grant application we put in with the state DNR office for a land and water conservation grant. So we won't have an official announcement tomorrow, but we'll have a pretty good sense of whether we're getting the grant or not by the end of the day. So that's exciting to still plan to move forward whether or not we get the grant or not. A few less items on it if we don't get the grant, but still hoping to get that out to bid yet this year. Had another 2 meetings about City Park pool design, so that continues to move forward. We did all the exciting things like chose the faucets for the restrooms and some of the details that'll go into the buildings and the bathhouse and the filter house. And we'll be moving into like construction documents in the next month or so. So we're getting there. You probably won't see much more about it till January and February when we get ready to go out to bid, but it is starting to come together, so that's exciting. I got a really good park name option for the Shannon Drive Park. As you know, last month I gave you the list of options that we had heard from neighbors. I had another member of the public email me quite a long write-up about a person named Adelaide Joy Rogers. And she was, they think, the first female to ever want to be elected to the Parks Commission. So back in the early 1900s, you all had to be elected, not appointed. And she ran for office. Unfortunately, she didn't get elected. It was the same year that Emma Harvitt got elected to the city council. She was the first female elected to the city council. But this Adelaide, also throughout her life, did a lot of things in Iowa City to advocate for especially women in sports and parks and recreation type facilities. So that member of the public will come in September when you have the discussion. You'll also get it in your packet. But staff has reviewed it and really kind of likes that idea. It has a nice tie, and she actually lived on the very west side of Iowa City. So there's some other tie-ins that we'll talk about, but still open to other ideas. Bring them to the September meeting, and we'll look for a recommendation after that. The other thing we have applied for is a REAP grant for work on the Sycamore Greenway, so environmental restoration on the Sycamore Greenway. You probably recall we've been very successful in our state REAP grants, also a DNR program. Every year for the past 7 years, we've gotten a $200,000 grant each year. We've done 2 projects at Hickory Hill Park. We've done one at Whispering Meadows, one at Terry Trueblood, one at Ryerson Woods, and one at the Ned Ashton House. So now we're moving on to hopefully do kind of some of the same things along the Sycamore Greenway. And it'll be taking out some of the invasive species, replanting things we'd like to see, but then also adding some new benches, bike stations, those kind of things along that trail. It's a very heavily used trail, and it's actually got quite a few still good things growing in some places, but we think with some restoration work it'll be even better. That's it for Parks and Rec.
Thanks for that update, Julie. I don't have anything from a chair's report standpoint, so let's go down the line. Maybe start with Aaron if there's any items for future agenda or anything else that you'd like to discuss.
Don't believe I had anything today.
No?
Nothing.
Virginia?
I've been hearing from a lot of my friends that they're unhappy with the City Park pool closing times on Saturdays when it closes at 5 p.m. and I realize it's not too late for anything in the season, and I'm sure it's a staffing issue, but just as City Park pool discussions continue, like hopefully it would be a goal to keep it open until 8 o'clock on Saturdays then.
Yeah, so I would suggest, we'll try to remember that and bring it up as we're getting ready to open the new pool, because I would suggest we'll probably look at the entire pool schedule all over again when we get ready to open up the new pool.
Or fun?
Yeah,
I wanted to thank Diane Allen for all the emails about Project Green. They're all the pictures and exactly what they went through, and beautiful. I love reading them, so thank her for that information. And then I had emailed Julie too, but I had gotten some text messages from a person about, is it River Crossing Park?
Riverfront Crossing.
Riverfront Crossing concern about unhoused people living there and having cords across the trails and camping there, despite a sign that says no camping. And so just wondering, you know, I gotten a couple different times of pictures and things. So wondering, you know, I think that it was like contact the police if there's a problem or that kind of thing. But I didn't know if the Parks and Rec
Sure.
has anything.
So we participate on a city committee that includes police, public works staff, park staff, the shelter house staff, outreach staff. It has been an issue in a number of our parks this entire summer. We have outreach staff that is trying to make contact as best they can with the individuals when they're identified. Riverfront Crossings in particular, we do have cameras on that building at all times, so we've been able to monitor it a little bit. Unfortunately, the restrooms are completely locked off right now because they had sustained so much damage. We just could not keep up with keeping them clean and open. So they are closed at the moment. We understand that's an issue for all the other park users. We open when there's an event there. I don't have a great answer for it. We know that there's individuals that lack housing that are using our parks, some of them in more obvious places than others. We do have 2 outreach officers on the police that are trying to make contact with all of them and get them into services, but it just takes a while.
Sure.
So
Very good.
we're very aware of it.
I figured,
That's the
yeah.
best thing I could say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was actually, both the things you brought up were both things I was going to say. I've noticed all those emails about Project Green and it's really cool to see all those updates. And then I also had someone who mentioned about specifically Riverfront Crossings. And I don't know, I'm not sure when the bathrooms closed, but they brought up that the bathrooms, you know, were basically unusable to any general members of the general public. So not really sure what the kind of what's equitable, how do you manage that? But that did seem like a concern I wanted to bring up to you.
I can tell you that the bulk of the group that was spending the most time there has moved on in the last probably 6 days. We've been monitoring it pretty closely. But we still don't have, we don't know when we're going to get the restrooms open. I'm sorry to say, we have troubles at TTRA right now too, Tier 2 blood. In fact, they've stolen the copper out of our air conditioning units there, someone has. So it's been an interesting summer for us.
We had the portable restroom we moved there.
At
Riverfront.
Riverfront. Okay, yeah, we did put a temporary there, so at least we have something.
Thanks.
All right. And with that, motion to adjourn.
Motion?
All right, second. All right. Thanks so much. And